Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening to everyone. I hope I'm audible, right? Can you guys please confirm in the chat box? Hello. Hey, how are you all doing? I hope. See, anyone have any doubt from the last session? You can ask. Okay. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Gaurav. Good evening, Avinash. Good evening. So I'm audible, right? I'm audible clearly. Yeah. Okay. So any doubt? Any doubt? Anyone have any doubt? Okay, I'll share my screen also. Just give me a second. Okay, so today we are going to see about this is the day two, right? Those already there. So this is the day two. Today we are going to see about the arrays and we are going to devise the algorithms. Okay, so specifically it'll be like sorting algorithms. Let's see for suppose. And okay, so just let me know when my screen is visible, right? Okay, in the chat box. Okay, good evening. Good evening. So anyone have any doubt from the last session? Screen would be visible. Yeah, so just confirm in the chat box once my screen is visible, please be fast, right? So yeah, before going to that, anyone have any doubt from the last session? Anyone have any doubt? Anyone have any doubt in the last session? Just confirm. Okay, if you have any doubt in the last session, you can ask, right? Okay, in the chat box. And one more thing is just make sure you are marking the attendance, right? Let me refresh the page. Okay, so it's important. Remember the point. This progress bar should be at least 50 percentage, right? There should be at least 50 percentage. And see, whatever the other programs are there, I'll explain that later. So just for now, you have to mark the attendance from here. Okay, those who haven't marked, please mark it. Okay, after the class and whatever the interest you have and all those things, right? So I hope those who were there in the previous class and those still have some issue in this, you can ask, okay, in the chat box if you have, but make sure to mark the attendance, right? Give the rating, whatever you want, and submit the attendance. Okay, so I'll tell this again in the end of session. Okay, so remember 50% is mandatory for getting a certificate, right? Okay, so I hope anyone have any doubt, you can ask. Okay, no doubt. Okay, so let's start. So this is day two, right? So I hope we have at least got the basics about the structure of the Java program, right? And in that, what we have studied about the string and the basic public, how, what is this public static, right? All those things, right? What is the entry point of a Java program? Okay. So today, the main topic is today is arrays, okay, and algorithms. With this, I'm going to tell you few more points. Okay. So here actually I'm going to cover obviously the normal, you can say like syntax and all those things. With that, we are going to cover the sorting algorithms. I'll tell you the searching as well, but we have some constant to the time, right? I mean, obviously here we have the time complexity as well, and we have the time in here as well. Okay. So we'll see sorting algorithms. I'll tell you few algorithms and we'll devise it right from the scratch. Okay, so we'll make it first, we'll understand the approach, then we are going to code it. Okay, and then there is a searching algorithms. Okay, so I can tell we can code this as well if we got some time. Okay, otherwise we'll go for the sorting, right? And we have to see the time complexity and space complexity. Okay, so these are few topics that we have to see. So that is the time complexity, and when we have a space as well. Okay, so we have to see this as well, right? And afterwards, if we got some after the some time, I'll tell you the recursion, right? Because someone asked the previous session we should go for the recursion, right? As this is kind of advanced topic, right? The beginners, even if you are learning Java and you already know some of the topics, don't directly jump on the recursion, right? First understand the basic arrays, strings, and some questions on that. Try to solve questions on that. Then go to this topic. Okay, if you got time, I'll tell you what is this recursion. Like one of the important topic and kind of interesting too, right? So let's start. Let's start. So can anyone tell me first, as like in the earlier session also, or I try to ask you from guys only, right? What is an array? Like, let's see. Okay, so you asked for the recursion. Don't worry. If you got time, I'll tell you, right? I'll explain with one question as well and with the call stack, how it works behind the scene. Okay. So first tell me what is this array? Generic. Okay, it doesn't depend. If you know C++, that also the same in here, right? Few points is different in, unlike the string we had. Okay. So what is array in Java? What is this? Features, continuous block of memory. That's correct. Collection of elements. Okay. Okay. Store some data types, and that should be heterogeneous or homogeneous. You're giving the answers, right? So that should be heterogeneous or homogeneous. I hope you already know about this hetero and homo, right? Homo means kind of same, right? Collection of exactly. So collection of similar data types. Okay, yeah, that's correct. So array in Java is just like a block of spaces, right? I mean, see, few points is important, right? In here is like this. Let's suppose the first point is obviously that is a collection of similar data type, right? Yeah. Okay. The better ways I'll show you in the VS Code itself. Okay. So I'll have kind of notes. So I'll tell you a few points. We'll not stick with much of theory part, although I'll explain everything. See, so array is, as you guys told me, it is collection of homogeneous. So I'm using this term homogeneous because other data type or heterogeneous data type cannot be stored, right? Homogeneous data type. So obviously collection means the value it is going to store in here, right? And the other point is size is fixed, right? So few points you should remember, right? You should not forget about this. So yeah, and this is the collection of homogeneous type. Size is fixed, right? And one more thing is in the array, you already told me this as well. Contiguous memory allocation. Okay. So can anyone tell me what is this contiguous memory allocation? What is this term? What does it mean? What is this contiguous memory allocation? Do we have any significance of this term to the array, or it is just like the simple memory allocation we had with the variables or any other data structures? Is there any relevance of this term in here? Any relevance in here? Just in the chat box. Okay. So yeah, exactly. So see, we have few features in here for the array, right? Container that holds a fixed number of values. Okay. And consecutive memory, exactly. So see, what is this contiguous memory allocation? It is like storing the data or the values one by one, right? So I can show you from here. See, so see, whatever the thing we have written, the features already we have written there. So array is like the block of space, right? Like this. So we have some spaces in here, like linear. Okay. And in here, what happens is it is going to, let's suppose this is fixed, it is 3 8, right? So this is 8 space, and whatever data type you are going to take, let's suppose int or something. Okay, so it should be int only. We cannot store string, right? That's homogeneous means, okay, that term. So we cannot store string if you are using an integer array, right? Actually, I was going to tell you some the extra, right? How we can use the custom classes that we have seen in the previous session, right? So we're going to create that array as well after that sorting one. Okay. First, we are going to create the arrays with the primitive data types. Afterwards, I'll tell you with the derived data types because that is important in DSA, right? That's why we're going to this bootcamp, right? The essentials of the normal data structure programs. Okay. So this is, let's suppose, a memory block. The address is going to be exactly one after the other, right? Which means this is the first element. Indexing is starts with first. I hope this is also important. So for accessing the element, we use indexes, right? Because that's how random access of elements is possible, unlike in other non-linear data structure, right? So one more point is this is a linear data structure that I wanted to see. So this is a linear data structure, and one more point is random access is allowed. Okay. So what does this random access means? You can use the indexes to get the elements, whatever, right? It's not fixed, unlike the linked list, right? Those who already know. So in the linked list, or let's suppose stack. So stack was obviously a linear, but you cannot get a random access to the element. You have to traverse. Okay. In a stack, you cannot get, let's suppose, seventh element. In a stack, you have to traverse to the seventh element to get that seventh, right? I mean, if you're not using array, but if you're using a normal linked list implementation for a stack, you have to traverse, right? So this is one of the advantages in the array. You can get whatever the elements you have stored with the indexes. And it is a linear data structure. So first thing, what should come to your mind, right, is a linear data structure. Okay. This is Jarvis. Right. Okay. So in here, okay, just give me a second. Yeah. So what I was saying in here, the main point is the contiguous memory location means the address. Let's suppose it is 1024. Okay, and that is 1028. Okay. So it means it is going to be, let's suppose this is 4 byte, right? The integer. So this is going to be plus 4 and this is going to be plus 4 and plus 4 like that. Okay. So the every value or every space is going to be just one after the another. That's how it store, or it represents the block of this values, right? Behind the scene, obviously this is behind the scene. We don't have to worry about the memory address. We only worry about the indexes, right? Because that's how we are going to access the elements. Okay. So see in here, okay, so let's directly jump to the declaration part. Okay, let's directly go into this. I'll create one class arrays dot java. Okay, the file name is also the same. So here there is a term package. Package means the this folder name, right? So it is like that because we are inside main directory, which is your Java stack and linked list in advanced topic then arrays. Yeah, exactly. Stack and linked list are the advanced topics, but I'm just reiterating, right? Because the points how you can compare the stack and linked list, or let's suppose array and linked list, that's how it is defined. Okay. So few points you should remember this one with the array. Okay, this is important because this is being used in the questions when we are going to solve. Sure. So let's directly start with this declaration part. So we are going with the declaration. Okay. So how we can declare an array, because every time we are using any data structure, we have to declare it right before using it. Exactly, right? So and exactly right, bus and seats, that's the contiguous allocations. So here the declaration of array, and we are going to slice it as well. So there are like few methods. Okay, one of the basic, or you can say uh, the most easy one is when we are using this int. Okay, and let's suppose we are using an integer type of array, and here, okay, I'll be generic. So here you have to give the data type. You have to give the data type, you have to give the array name, and equals to, then you have to use new keyword. One more thing is we have to use square brackets in here. Square brackets denotes the array. Okay, so here again we have to pass, after the new keyword you have to pass the data type, and data type should be same. Okay, so here actually the whatever we are passing in here, okay, that data type or the size you have to give in here. Okay, so let's suppose in here we have this one we do. Okay, the main part is either you can do like this, or you can have a normal declaration. Afterwards you can slice with the that as well, right? So we can do this. Okay, this is also possible with the data type, and afterwards you can use like this. So two ways, either you can use like this, and afterwards you can use a new keyword for the array name. You have to use two brackets, that's important. So two brackets are denoting that this is an array, right? For the set we had different, actually in different languages, not in Java. We don't have a concept of set as such. We have the collection framework, right? uh, if I want to extract them, how can I add to the array? See, if the size is fixed and you have to actually allocate, see, new space cannot be allocated, right? You have to obviously take a new array. Okay, otherwise you have to declare that array. Either you have to clear that space and allocate a new memory, right? So it'll be like from the starting. That's why array has some constraints, right? There is some disadvantages, obviously. Okay, that's why. Okay. Yeah, exactly. You have to create another array in that case, right? So in here, what does, okay, just give me a sec. It's going a bit slower. Just give me a second. Okay. So this is the way. And let's suppose if you have to actually declare an array, right? What we can do is for the integer, we have to give like this. Let's suppose I'm giving ARR and new int. So int is the data type. Here you have to pass the same. I have to give the size, otherwise it will not work. Okay. So I have to give size, like let's suppose if I'm giving 10. So this is a simple declaration. right? This is a simple declaration to the array, right? So here, anyone have any doubt till this point? Anyone have any doubt? This is simple, right? This is simple. Let's go into that part. So I'll be telling you that exact that algorithms, right? How we can devise the algorithms. Afterwards, you can see a few more questions on this. Okay. So you'll be having an assignment as well, right? After this session, you'll be getting that. So here, okay. So this is simple array, right? Allocation, I've already told you. Contiguous memory is going to be allocated. You don't know the address, although you can get the address as well, right? See, we don't have any concept of pointers, so you can even ignore that, right? That's one of the use cases I find in Java. We don't have to worry about the pointers and addresses, right? As such, Java handles it, okay, automatically. So this is simple. Let's suppose you have to access the element, or obviously, if you have an array, right? If you have an array like this, so obviously I'm going to put some values, right? Let's suppose I'm putting some numbers, random numbers, 2, 4, 7, 1, 7, and 9, right? So for storing the numbers, we have to get the indexes. Indexing starts with 0, right? So that's why we go till if you have seen the traversal. Okay, so there are a few ways to traverse it. We have while loop and for loop. That is also being covered. Those who don't know about the loops. So loop is to cover the or repeat the same block of statement. Rather than writing it many times, we can have a for loop or we can have a while loop. Okay, we have so many loops. First, tell me how many types of loop are there in Java? How many types are there? Assignment you can submit. Yeah. Assignment you can submit through the site only, right? There'll be, okay. See, I'll be telling you. Just wait for a few minutes. I'll tell you. Okay, afterwards. Okay, yeah, you can submit it from the site only. I'll show you how we can do. Okay, so just tell me what and how many types of loops are there in Java. No, not the number, with the name as well. The name. Okay, so we are going to use loops for that. I'll tell you how. See, those who are beginners, you have declared an array. Afterwards, you have to store the values, right? That's why we're using an array. It means you have a boxes just attached one by another, just like a bus seat, right? Someone said. So you have to place the numbers. So you can place the numbers dynamically also. I can place it the first position or to the third position directly. It's not mandatory. You have to start with the 0 only. Okay. So that is how random access is allowed. Okay. So let's suppose if I'm storing any number, okay, it doesn't matter what you're storing. So this is actually not a good way, right? If I'm doing like this, array of 0, 1, 2, and like this. Okay, so it's not necessary you have to go from 0, 1, 2. I can store here at 6 also, right? Other will be by default 0. So when we are declaring with the integer, by default it takes 0, right? If you're not storing any elements to that index. So we have stored to the 3 position, which means if you have 10 seat in the bus, 3 position is filled at the 0th, matlab first wala position, then first index, which is second element, then sixth. Actually, this is the seventh element. Okay. So 3 position are filled, rest 7 are empty, empty, and it will be 0 by default. So here actually, by default, it is going to place the 0. Okay, actually it depends upon the compiler as well, but generally it is going to be 0, right? While for each, exactly, for each we have the for each as well, right? Because from the new Java 8 we have few more loops, right? The internal loops we call it. With the lambda function we can have this implementation of internal loops. Okay, so I can tell you this in the third session. Okay, it's not necessary to see that, but we are going to see 3 loops. Okay, so do while is generally, it depends upon the implementation. Generally we use while in this for loop, and for each is also used. There is one more which is called as for off loop. Okay, anyone have any idea about the for off loop? Anyone? For off loop, I'll show you how we use that for off loop just for traversal the elements. So this is how we can do, right? But this is not a relevant way, obviously. That's why we had a loop, because this statement is repeating, only the data is being changed. So I can have a variable index or variable name. Okay, let's suppose I or index anything. I can increment it, okay, with the normal operator, and afterwards I can store the value. Okay, so instead of doing like this is also going to work. But let's suppose if I have 1000 element, बहुत सारे एलिमेंट्स हैं, फिर आप कैसे उनको अलोकेट करोगे? ठीक है, कैसे स्पेस यहाँ पे जाएगा, कैसे वैल्यू वहाँ पे जाएंगी, राइट? अगर ऐसे लिखना होगा तो 1000 लाइन ऑफ कोड लिखना पड़ेगा. Okay, that's not relevant, right? So what we do, we use a for loop. Okay, those who don't know, I'll tell you the normal syntax. First is the initialization, which means you have to initialize a value. Okay, so see, I am initializing it the 0. See, you can do like this as well. It's not necessary you have to always pass int here. So you can do like this as well, or you can pass int there also. If it's confusing, you can do like this. Int I is equal to 0, which means I'm declaring one variable with a by default value 0, right? And even you can skip this line as well, right? This is also possible. Okay. So here, see what is happening. Okay. So here we have to do like this. And one more thing, we have the array of length as well. So I can pass 10, but there is a method in the array which is called as array dot length, right? So this is the array dot length, and why it is used to get the length of the array. Okay, you can just make it alien if it's confusing. So length is nothing but the 10. We already know we have given the length. Okay, we have okay, is it lacking? Let me check. Okay, it might be right. There might be some issue. Okay, just poop up with me for that, right? It will be better. Okay, I'm not sure what is this. Okay, is it clear now? Is it clear now? Okay, is it clear now? Is it clear? Hello. So here we don't have to pass. Okay, see that may be issue from your side also, or it might be from my side as well, obviously. But let's see. Okay, is it happening with all the person or just with me? Okay, okay. So see, is it clear now? Is it better now? Okay, actually, this I don't know what is happening, but if it's clear, okay, let's start. So here, see, we have to do one more thing is we have to do like this, but it is actually be like kind of confusing. Okay, when we do like this. Okay, from your side is okay, right? So it might be possible. There might be internet issue right at your side. Okay, and this is one of the way. If you are doing like this, still you can pass I equals to 0, right? See, there are like lot of alternatives to do. Okay, but I'm just going with a simple one. Okay, I'm not going into the advanced thing or some edge cases for the for loop. Okay, just starting with the simple one. So I'm going to save some number, let's suppose from 1 to 10 or something. So I'm going to use array of I. Okay, I'm going to be like little bit fast here. It's easy, right? So I'm going to store like this I plus 1, which means storing the number from 1 to 10. Okay, we have 10 spaces. I want to store from 1 to 10. That's it. So I starting with the 0, right? I will be going to be 1, then 2, then 3, and all, right? Like that. Okay, so here we have the simple for loop. We have passed the elements to the array, right? Now we have to access it also to check if we have this element in the array or not. So first thing is, let's suppose if you want to check the last element, so you can do like this: system.print ln use array, okay, and just let's suppose if I want the last element, so I have to pass 9. Can anyone tell me why we are passing the last? If you have to access the last element, why I'm passing this 9? Why not 10? Why I'm passing 9 in here? What is the reason? What is the reason? What is the reason? Mm, no, no. See, it is not different from the C++, but yeah, you have to give the size. That is the only difference. You know, there also this works the same, but here you have to use new keyword. Okay, so you have to exactly starting with the 0, right? So the indexing starts with a 0. So we have to get the last element that will be at the 9th index. Simple. Okay. So this is how this is only we are getting the last element, right? So I'm going to simply click on run, and you'll see this 10, right? Because the last element is nothing but the 10. Okay, so that's how we are getting. If you can see the output in here, we are getting 10 after this blue lines. Okay, so this is just the command. We are getting this 10. Okay, so that's why I told you with the VS Code, because it runs. You don't have to write commands to run the program, right? Again and again. That's why it is quite handful. So in here we have this. We are getting only one element. I want to get all the elements. So one way is again to use this I equals to 0 and all those things, but I want to go in a easier way. So I'll do like this. So can anyone tell me what is this loop? I'm using int. I'm passing this element. This is nothing but a variable name. Okay. This is nothing but a variable name. I can do it A also. Okay. Then one colon, then array name. And here I'm going to pass system that again, mostly I'm going to print the elements in the array. But here I don't have to worry about the indexes. I can simply print A, right? Can anyone tell me what is this array? Like what is this kind of loop? No, no, no. This is not a for each loop. Don't confuse with this term. This is a for of loop, right? For each is different. For each is there in the Java 8, right? This is different. This is for of loop. Don't confuse with that name. I know you know about this. It is for the traversal only, but this is called as for of. Okay. For each is different. Exactly. There is a for advance. You can call it as a for advance also. Right? This is also the term. Okay, don't confuse with that for each. For is different. I'll tell you tomorrow, right? Actually, we have to understand one internal working of that function. So we have to study lambda function if you want to see for each. It is not there in the normal loop, right? You have to import array, then you can use it. Okay. So exactly, this is kind of iterator, you can say. Behind the scene, it works as a iterator. Exactly. So if I just run this code again, let me clear the screen. If I just click on run, okay, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 and all. Why we are getting from the 1? Because I am storing I plus 1. So I will be 0. In the array of 0, I am going to place 1, right? Then again, array of 1 will be having is equal to 2, right? Like this. So you can just relate with that. Okay, I'm storing 1 to 10. Okay, but let's suppose if I have a random numbers, right? Because this is one of the way. Okay, those who had, I guess someone had confusion in here. No, it's not required. See, it is not required because that is in the string. Okay, when you have to calculate the length of a string, you have to use brackets. Those parentheses, not in here, not in the array. Okay, that is in the string when you have to pass two parameters, right? And in here we have this array. This is one of the way. Let's suppose, I hope this is clear, right? Iteration and all. Okay, so I'm going to clear this out for now. What I'll do like this. So array is equals to, let's suppose, see, so there is a way if I can declare it and initialize at the same time. So what I can do like this. Let's suppose if I have an array and I have a random numbers, right? Let's suppose this is, and we have 2, we have 12, 14, we have 56, and like this. Okay, like this. We have random numbers, 3, let it be 10. Okay, so we have random numbers. That's actually I'm giving this example because we have to devise the algorithm. Okay, so we'll try to sort it. Okay, we'll try to. I'll not directly jump on the code. Don't worry. I'll explain that algorithms. Then we'll start with one. Okay, so let's suppose either the bubble or selection, whatever you say. Okay, that we're going to start. Okay, yeah. So till here, I hope it's clear. This is the for of loop, or you can call it for advance. If it's confusing, you can go for the indexes one. Okay, don't worry about this. In the meanwhile, right, when you're solving question, it will be clear. Okay, don't worry about this. So this is simply for accessing the elements. How it works, it is nothing but traversing to the array. Let's suppose if I have this array and if I try to, let's suppose I remove all these things. Again, if I run the code, okay, so we have this array. Here we have the same variable name. I'll just click on this run. You'll see 12, 34 and all those things, right, one by one. So we don't have to get or use the indexes. We want only the elements from left to right. You can use for of loop. Okay, just for printing or using the elements, this is the better option. We don't have to write indexes and all. Okay, that's why. So here actually that index out of bound condition will not occur also as well, right? So that's also handled automatically. See what I wanted. This is again the declaration and initialization at the same time. Okay, so this is kind of similar to the C++, but in the previous case it is not, because in the C++ we don't have this concept of as a new keyword such. We generally declare like this int array, or there we have vector. Okay, we generally in C++ we don't use arrays, we use vectors, the alternative of arrays. Okay, so this is declaration and installation at the same time. Okay, generally it is not being used, but somewhere you can see this as well. So here I am declaring an array. This is I have commented, right? This code is not there. You can delete it. Okay. So now this is the array. This is the elements. Same time I am giving the values also. I'm not using any indexes or something, but I'm giving the elements, right? Why array index start from? See, that is the obviously the convention they are following, right? Why we are starting with the 0? Obviously there is a convention, because when you are storing the elements, right, in the memory address, that behind the scene how it works, it's so like in the form of buckets and it allocates, and the pointer thing. Okay, so starting with the 0 works beneficial in the case of accessing the elements right afterwards. Sometimes it's confusing, so we generally start with the 1. We don't store anything at the 0th term, right? If you want to go with normal human readable form, that's not actually readable, because the first element is stored at the zeros index. Okay, although those who know already, they solve it with the zero index, but generally in the production level code or somewhere, right? Generally we don't use array. We have some alternative options, but in that case you can go for that. Okay, that's why. So here we have yeah, what I was saying. So see, so this is the initialization part, saving the values at the same time in the one line. Okay, what I want in here, I want to sort this elements, right? This element is like this. I want the output something like this, means in the array only, right? In the array only. So I want to do like this. Okay, the sorted one is 2, then you have 12, then 13, and here we have okay, 23, 23 two times. We have 34, like this, right? Whatever the numbers we have, obviously in the ascending order I want to solve. Okay, so we have lot of algorithms. Can anyone tell me how many types of, or like what are the sorting algorithms do we have in Java? Not in Java, like in general also. You can implement this algorithm in any language. It's not like that you have to use in Java. You can use it anywhere. Okay, so if you learn the concept in here, you can just go for the other language also, right? If you want, if it's the requirement. Okay, although Java is more beneficial and trending, so just go for the Java. No, just not with the number, the name, right? Names. What are the sorting algorithms do we have? Bubble quick selection. Okay, okay. Okay. So do we have any better option apart from the merge, insertion, merge, quick, bubble? Okay, heap sort, exactly, we have a heap sort also. We cannot see heap sort in 1 hour, so obviously we don't have 1 hour left, so that will be not a good way. But I will start with the basic one, but obviously you'll get a brief idea, right, how that thing works and all those things. Okay, so let's suppose if I am starting with a normal bubble sort only, right, or selection sort, I'll tell you the algorithm, then we'll start with the code. Okay, so we have to actually sort it in place. I don't want to use an extra space. See, there is one more way. Someone say, obviously you can say this. We have an inbuilt method as well. So if I want to sort it, let's suppose, let's see what are the sorted elements. Okay, let it be print, and let's have the comma as well. Okay, so arrays dot sort. One thing is you have to pass array in here. So this is the inbuilt sorting method. One more thing is you have to import this java dot util dot arrays. Okay, either you can use star, but if you don't want to go for the star, you can import this one. Okay, what is the issue? Conflicts that I define in the same file. So what is the issue? Okay, should be before the package, right? On the package. Conflicts the same file. What is this? Let it be with the star. We don't want conflicts. Don't know what is with the conflict, but there is a util, right? Okay, let it be star only. Let it be. Okay, so still star will include this sort as well. So okay. Undefined for the type arrays. Okay. I don't know what's with this compiler. There is a method, right? There is an inbuilt method. Obviously, we are not going to use it. It will sort it automatically, right? I'm not sure about this compiler. What is with this compiler? But you can check on the online compiler, right? Let's suppose if I had the same code, let's see. Okay, so it's not working here. I'll show you there. So there is an online compiler. There might be some issue with this JavaScript, that VS code one, right? So let's have this one. Here we have code java dot dot star. Okay, so when we execute the code, we have to, yeah, see, there was some issue, right? There might be some issue with the JDK or something. We have this util package, right? Inside it we have the arrays. Then we have a sort method which sorts the array. Okay, the integer array, it can be sort, it can sort the string array as well, but it uses actually the quick sort. You told me about few sorts, right? Yeah, through the Google Drive. Yeah, you can also, I guess there should be a block as well, right? There you can also submit it that assignment as well in that block of code. Okay. So here we have sorted the array. Obviously, I'm not going to do this, but this is the sorted array. We want this. Okay. This is the same array. We are not allocating a new space, unlike in the merge sort and some that auxiliary space. We're not taking any auxiliary space. Okay. We want to sort it in place. Okay. So there are some categories as well. In place sorting. Okay. Taking auxiliary space for the sorting. Okay. We are going to just follow this VS code only. Okay. Here might be some issue with the array or some packages, right? That's why it was not working there. But there is a method, okay, inside the arrays class. So there is a method called sort. It uses by default custom quick sort. Okay, those is interested in which sorting it uses. So it uses custom quick sort, works in a average and log n case. Okay. So I'll talk about that complexity. Don't worry. So here we have to perform this, and I want to devise an algorithm. Okay. So let's start with the normal. Let's suppose I'll tell you the selection. Let's start with the bubble, which is the easiest one. Okay. So anyone knows about this bubble sort, the normal algorithm? I hope you have already gone through this term, right? Before as well. So this is a simple algorithm. Okay, let's suppose we have the same elements. I'm going to paste in here. Okay, so we have this much of elements. I want to sort it. Okay, so we have this 12, we have 34, we have 23, we have 2, we have 13, 56, we have 34, 23, oops, one space, and 89. So what is the normal approach for the bubble sort? How it works? How it works? Inbuilt function. Yeah, obviously there is an inbuilt function in CPP. There is also a sort for the vector and the list and everything, right? Because in general in the C++ we have a different concept. So there is also a sort. Obviously there is a inbuilt sort in CPP as well. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I'm going to start with the basics. Don't worry. Yeah, going to start with the bubble sort only. I'll tell you the selection as well. Don't worry. It will not take much time. So can anyone tell me what is the approach if AI get exactly? So obviously you can write in one line. That's correct, Rishikesh. But normally how it works, if you have to explain it to someone, so how it will work? See, this is the array, right? We have to sort it. I mean, we have to get the elements like this. So this is the output we want. Okay, so there is an input and then there is a output as well. Okay, let's suppose like this. So this is the output we want and this is the input, right? So this is the input and this is the output we want. We want to sort it in the ascending order. So here we have 12 and third, this like this. So bubble sort, how it uses this, I'll show you. Let me move this first. We don't want it in here. Let's move it here. Okay. So how it will work? It will compare the consecutive elements, right? Consecutive means in the single traversal, it will compare all the elements. Okay, here we'll talk about the time complexity also, and one kind of quiz question I have for you guys, right? So those who don't know about the bubble sort, you'll understand here, and those who already know, I'll ask you a question. Okay, how to optimize the bubble sort, how it can work in a best case. Okay, that is the question. So this is the consecutive elements. Okay, so how it works, see, I'll tell you. This is the first iteration. Okay, that's both the first step, okay, of the our algorithm, right? So we have to compare the elements, right? Obviously there is a bubble sort I have learned from somewhere only, but I've learned it, right? That's how bubble sort works. So it will compare the consecutive two elements in the first iteration. Then second, it will run kind of n square times length of normal array का जो length है उसके 2 times like square में work करता है वो, ठीक है ऐसा. So here we have two elements. We are going to compare it, okay, which means 12 and 34. We are going to sort in ascending order so that particular logic is correct. Okay, so Control Shift O for what organize import. Yeah, see, it will automatically import it, right, in the VS Code if you're getting, or in the IntelliJ. So you can import it automatically. Actually, it will be in Eclipse, as much I know. So that you can automatically import. I don't think there would be a in the VS Code. Okay, there is a shortcut for that import. Okay, on the Eclipse. So here we have to compare it. So we are going to compare it. It is in the correct position, which means 12 is smaller than 34. So it's okay. Now we are going to compare 34 and 23. This is actually greater than 23. Okay. So now in the first iteration, this is going to swap, which means 23 is going to be placed in here and 34 is going to be placed in here and 12 is in here. Okay. So now this is, I'll tell you with this box. Sorry. Okay, let's just ignore the handwriting for now. Okay, and this is the 12. Okay, so 12 is at the same position. 23 and 34 replace their positions, right? They just swap them. Okay, so this is 34. Now again, this 34 is going to compare with the 2, right? So that is also again what? Sorry, in this case, it will not, not in here. This 2 actually is going to compare with this part, right? So here we have this 34. No. Here we have this 2, right? Okay, got it. So here we have this 2, then 13. Actually, I have to write it again and again. It is kind of, so this is the first iteration only, right? We are not going into the second iteration. So this is the outer loop. Okay, afterwards you have the inner loop and all. So this is 78 and we have 89. Okay, so here what happens is when the swapping is done, this is again the first iteration for the outer loop. Okay, so this is the outer loop, it is working. Now it will compare this 34 and 2. Okay, again the swapping will happen, which means 12, 23, 2, 34. Okay, so someone can say that as well. In the first iteration, when the first traversal will complete, the largest element, if you are sorting in the ascending order, the largest element is going to be placed into the last position, or it will be sorted. Okay, the largest element, okay, it is going to be placed in the last index. That's the first iteration will work. Then the second iteration will place the second largest to the last second position. That is obviously if you have 10 elements, it will be 8th index. Okay, so this 34 again swapped with this 2. Then again we have this 13, then 56. Actually, you have to write this. This was 34, right? Yeah. So this is 34. You have 23. You have 78, and you have 89. Okay. Again, this 30. See this. Remember this in here only. So it is going to be like this. Till here we are reaching this point 34. So 34 again compare with this. Again, it is going to swap. Okay, I'm not going to write this. This is going to be same, right? From the above only. So this 13 and 34 replaced again. Then we have 56. Then we have this is again 34. Okay, we have 234. So this is again 34. Then we have 23. Then 78, and then we have 89. Okay, so actually I guess 89 is the largest, so it will be there only. So, but some swapping is going to be done right in this place only. Okay, in the first iteration. So this now 34 is in here, 56. So this is correct. 34 is at right now, it is at correct position, smaller than 56. So it will, nothing will happen here. Again, it will check for this too. Okay, 56 and 34. Again, the swapping will happen. So 34 and 56. Okay, again 23 will be here, 78 and 89, right? Sorry for that. Now again here we have this 56 and 23. Again comparing will happen, and this is again the same. Okay, whatever the order was there after swapping, this is going to be same. Here it will replace with 23 and 56. Okay, then again we have 78 in here. Okay. And here you have 89. Okay, so now at this place, what will happen? This 78 is obviously this is okay and this is okay. So this is still the first iteration, which means now the elements would be like 12, 23, and this 2, then 13, then your 34, then 23, then 56, 78, and 89. This is only the first iteration. This thing is going to happen like n times. Okay, this is the first time, and n minus 1 times same this particular process going to happen. Same swapping will happen if the element is greater than the next element is greater than the previous one. Swapping will happen. Okay, so it works kinda, if you can see. Okay, I'll tell you the normal code. So what happens in here is, let's suppose we have this array. Okay, so this is a simple one. So yeah, final obviously that will be a sorted array. So here what, how thing works. So first we have to traverse the array, right? First we have to traverse the array. So I'm not going to use this one. Okay, this we are going to use afterwards. First what we have to do is, first we have to traverse the array. Okay, so we have to use indexes actually in here. So we have to traverse the array. Remember one more point is, either you can go to the next, the last index that you can go, but it's not necessary in the bubble sort. Okay, we can ignore the last element. I'll tell you why. Because when we are sorting the n minus 1 elements, last all element is automatically sorted. Okay, that's why we don't even compare for the last elements. That's why the first loop, see, you can run it to the n times, nothing is wrong with it, but in general, bubble sort can be done with the n-1 terms. Okay, last one will be automatically sorted. We don't have to worry about it. Okay, that's why we are going till n-1. Why it is I less than means I don't want to go to the last index. Okay, I just one before. Okay, why it is less than, because obviously the indexing starting with a 0, right? So you'll get, okay, I'll show you the dry run as well, don't worry. So this is the simple first outer loop. We use two loops, okay, because first is for the traversal, first iteration, then iterations, and in first iteration n type of comparisons is going to happen, right? N comparisons, because जितने भी elements हैं उतने comparisons होंगे, okay, and उतने ही time आप फिर से traverse करोगे, ठीक है? That's why bubble sort is not optimized, because you are doing the same step again and again, right? अब देखो आप यहाँ पे क्या होगा, if you have the elements like this, let's suppose, okay, आपका अगर element आधा sorted है पहले से, but still you are going to compare it, right? Although it is already sorted, आपका let's suppose last वाला element sorted नहीं था, everything is sorted, then you are going to compare it again and again, right? So normal bubble sort का approach क्या, you can obviously we can optimize the bubble sort as well for the half sorted or completely sorted array. That is a different thing, but in general we have to run two loops, right? पहला for the traversal, then second for loop is for the comparison, okay, for the consecutive elements. So this is okay, and we have to, n is nothing but the length of the array, okay. So whatever the array length we had, this is the array dot length. So n is the length of the array, okay. We are simply, this is the traversal, so this is normal traversal, we can say the iteration. The second for loop is for the comparison part, okay. So see, there is one condition in here for the optimization. Right now I'm not going for the optimization part. Let's keep it simple. So afterwards I have to compare it, right? So can anyone tell me from where I should start? From where I should start? I should start with a 0, like I'll having this int z, okay. So should I start with a 1 or 0? Can anyone tell me? You can see the code, right? Can anyone tell me, should I start with the 0 or should I start with the 1? What should be happening in here? I should be starting with the 0th element again, or should be 1 or the next element? For the normal approach, obviously, for the normal approach, can anyone tell me? From I, no, from I you're saying, okay, 1 you're saying 1, okay, okay, start 1, okay, I plus 1, okay. Remember this point, we are sorting in the ascending order, right? So the largest element are going to be placed in the last, okay. So if you are starting with this I, it is quite possible you miss the few cases, okay. All the test cases are not going to pass for that case, okay. So generally we have to traverse from the, see, this is for the ascending order again. What is the condition in here? I want to sort the array in ascending order. So this is obviously the constant, you can say, or the normal approach you are going to follow for the sorting. So you have to sort in ascending order. So the largest element will be in the last, okay. मतलब कि 89 would be in the last, obviously sorted format में 78 and this 34 जो भी second pair, it should be in the last, right? So see, you can start with that, but few cases maybe it's going to be missed, but you can start with that I plus 1 also, right? But अभी मैं normal अगर approach लेके बात करूँ, so I should be using, because अगर मेरा last का element sort हो रहा है, ठीक है, proper approach, if you are talking about the proper approach, it should be like this, okay. We have to compare with this as well, right? We are not sure कि आपका ये sorted है कि नहीं, ठीक है, आपका last में sort होता है, ठीक है, जैसा मैंने बताया. देखो ये चीज ध्यान देना, this is important because this is one of the bubble sort में no one will ask you to write the code, obviously अगर easy है so then you'll ask, और maybe कहीं पे question आ गया. Generally what happens is you'll be getting a custom bubble sort, or like you have to change the bubble sort in some way. Ki the question asks like this, you have to get the largest element, okay. So which particular bubble sort you are going to use for sorting the ascending order or descending order? So you can see in the first iteration only you're getting the sorted this largest element, right? The 89 in the last, although it is already there in the same position, it is in the last only. But let's suppose if it was in the starting, वो last में आ जाएगा, ठीक है, पहले iteration पे, ओके. सो दैट्स व्हाई हम लोग 0 पे नहीं मारेंगे, बिकॉज असेंडिंग ऑर्डर में कर रहे हैं, तो लास्ट एलिमेंट सॉर्ट हो रहा है अपना, ठीक है, स्टार्टिंग के नहीं हो रहे, तो अपने को कंपेयर करना है स्टार्टिंग वाले. बट जे को ना आप कहां तक लेके जा सकते हो, n माइनस i माइनस 1 तक लेके जा सकते हो, ठीक है. दिस इज फॉर असेंडिंग ऑर्डर. जब भी वी आर सॉर्टिंग इन द डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर, इन दैट केस आप मे बी उसको रिवर्स में चलाना पड़ेगा आपको फिर, ठीक है. सो दैट विल चेंज, जनरली इट विल स्टार्ट विद अ 0 ओनली. ओके, हियर यू कैन चेंज इट. Actually, you can go it for the n as well, or n minus 1. Okay, nothing will happen. You can go for the n minus 1, but it is unnecessary, because if my largest element is getting in the first iteration after this loop ends, so why to go or check that condition or that element again, right? No use, right, for that. So we can go for n minus I minus 1. That's how it works. Okay, for the ascending order, right? I know you're thinking about this. You're not actually, this is the like selection sort. Okay, that is different. We cannot do selection sort today, but I'll tell you the approach for the selection. Okay, and if you got time, we'll see the. Okay, we don't have much time for the recursion, but yeah, I'll tell you tomorrow then recursion, right, on the starting. So here, what we have to do, we have to compare. Okay, one quiz question is for you only, right? I'll tell you in between. So I'll write the code first. So tell me, what is the condition? I have to sort in the ascending order. What is the condition? What I have to write in the if? What do I have to write in the if statement? What do I have to write? Just tell me fast. थोड़ा जल्दी जल्दी बताना. What do I have to write? I less than equal to 1. No, I less than equal to 1 is different. Can you not tell me क्या होगा यहाँ पे? In the if condition. What is for the if condition? No. For the if condition, what do I have to write in the if condition? If के अंदर में क्या आएगा? That I'm asking. वही सारी है ना? I list no यार, I less than j क्यों आएगा? Array of, right? You're saying array of ij. Okay. See, देखो है कैसे? Array of j. See, I'm not sure you are talking about the indexes or the particular elements. We are not comparing with the indexes. We are comparing with the array elements. ठीक है? So array of j is greater than array of your consecutive elements, right? So we are starting with the 0. Okay, we are going till n minus I minus 1. So we are not going to the last. Okay, we are obviously skipping to the last element. So we can compare with, which means agar the first element, let's suppose 12. Okay, so if it's greater than 34, swapping will happen, although it is not there. But in the case of 34 and 23, this is the array of j. Array of j plus 1 is the 23. Okay, for the second, in the jth one, the second iteration. So here I have to write j plus 1, which means the next element. Okay, j आपका first current element हो गया, and j plus 1 is the next element. Okay, see, there are other approaches also. You can follow any other approach, but जो आपका लॉजिक है और जो आपका नॉर्मल स्ट्रक्चर है बबल सॉर्ट का, इट वर्क्स द सेम वे. कंसेक्यूटिव एलिमेंट्स ही कंपेयर होंगे, ठीक है. सो आइदर यू कैन डू इन अ डिफरेंट वे आल्सो. ओके, इफ यू आर फॉलोइंग द डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर, only that this sign is going to change, but the approach is same. So you have to compare the consecutive elements, right? So if array of j मतलब कि आपका current element, ठीक है, मतलब कि अगर आप 12 को लेके चल रहे हो 0 पे, so j equal to 0 पे array हो जाएगा 12. 12 कंपेयर होगा 34 से. Obviously it is not true because 12 is not greater than 34, so this will not run. Okay, so what we have to do in here, we have to actually swap the elements. ठीक है, तो मैं अभी के लिए यहाँ पे कर दे रहा हूँ. You can create a function also for this. So I'll tell you about the functions tomorrow only. Okay, here what we have to do, we have to swap. Okay, so we can use a without third variable as well. Right now let's stick to the basic. So what we have to do, we have to first get to the array of j, and here you have to swap this array of j equals to, so this is the swapping of variables using third variable. Okay, मतलब कि दो एलिमेंट्स को स्वैप करना है array में using a third variable temp. ठीक है, so here you have to pass j plus 1, and for the array of j plus 1, this is quite easy. Okay, अगर आपको थोड़ा प्रूफ समझ में आ गया, so this is quite easy. Here you have to pass 10. So you can create a function also. If you don't want to repeat this code, you can create a function also for this. We can see that afterwards. Okay, so one thing I wanted in here is, I'll tell you. Okay, we don't have much time left, but I'll tell you what the quiz question, right? Kind of quiz question for you guys from here only. Okay, I'm not asking from other topic. I'm asking from here only. Okay, so just tell me this point. Is this clear? So what you are doing? We are swapping the elements. When we are swapping the elements, when the next element is greater than, sorry, that's smaller than. Okay, so swapping elements when the next element is smaller than the current element. Okay, तो करंट एलिमेंट मींस जो आपका करंट एलिमेंट से मैच करा रहे हैं, कंपेयर करा रहे हैं. इफ इट्स स्मॉलर तो आपको वो स्वैप कर देना है, अदरवाइज कुछ नहीं होगा. ठीक है, अदरवाइज सिंपल ऐसे ही रहेगा. ठीक है, दिस इज द नॉर्मल बबल सॉर्ट. ठीक है, एनी डाउट? एनीवन हैव एनी डाउट? Anyone have any doubt? Okay, few points I also have to tell you. Just be here. And one question, right? The quiz question for you guys. ये clear है क्या? Anyone have any doubt? You can ask. Anyone have any doubt? इसको वहाँ पे लेके पहले रन करा लेते हैं, ठीक है? पहले देख लेते हैं एल्गोरिथम जो बना है वो चल रहा है कि नहीं, ठीक है? तो सेम व्हाट वी डिस्कस्ड, वी हैव क्रिएटेड, वी हैव फॉलो द सेम थिंग, ओके? वी आर राइटिंग लाइन बाय लाइन, ट्रैवर्स करेंगे, फिर एक और लूप लगाएंगे फॉर सी। आपको अगर नहीं करना, आप इसको n माइनस वहां तक लेके चले जाओ, नो इशू, स्टिल वर्क करेगा, ठीक है? बट n माइनस आई माइनस वन का सिर्फ ये मतलब है कि रिपीट नहीं करेंगे, ठीक है? The same steps we don't want to repeat, right? So that's why we are following with the n minus I minus 1. Okay, that's how it is working. So now this is the simple swapping part. Just tell me, anyone have any doubt till this point? Let's run this code first. And ठीक है, तो array आपका यहाँ पे should be sorted. So let's print the array first. तो पहले print करके देखते हैं, okay? Before this sorting or after the sorting. तो पहला आपको जो प्रिंट होगा वो होगा बिफोर द सॉर्टिंग, और इसके बाद में आएगा आफ्टर द सॉर्टिंग, ओके? एक ln लगाना पड़ेगा यार इसमें, सो वी हैव टू चेंज द लाइन बिकॉज वो इट इज कमिंग द सेम लाइन. So let's have a simple print ln. I hope everyone knows about the normal print ln. It's not necessary to pass parameter or anything. We can have a simple print ln as well, right? So let me clear this console. और मेरे को बताओ, anyone have any doubt? Anyone have any doubt in this? कोई डाउट है क्या इसमें? जल्दी से. अब देखो क्या हो गया, आपका एरे हो गया सॉर्टेड, ठीक है? इनटू द सेकंड, इफ यू कैन सी इन द कंसोल, द एरे इज सॉर्टेड, राइट? यू कैन सी, राइट? सी इन हियर. I can show you that J doodle also, if अगर स्क्रीन वहाँ पे ज़्यादा क्लियर होगी ना, ठीक है? Let's see there only. So this is the same code. I'm just going to copy it here. Okay, so into the main, everything is same. Just execute the code. This is the code. Anyone have any doubt? Just let me know. We are following the same approach we discussed. Okay. So here we have the first array which is not sorted, our original array. Afterwards we have the elements which is sorted. ठीक है? अब देखो फॉलो कैसे हो रहा है. एरे ऑफ जे आपका करंट एलिमेंट है, ठीक है? मतलब कि लेट्स सपोज 12 है जे 0 के केस में, और 34 आएगा जे प्लस 1 पे. कंपेयर करेंगे, ऑल्दो दिस कंडीशन इज फॉल्स. व्हाई? 12 इज नॉट ग्रेटर देन 34, ठीक है? सो कुछ नहीं होगा, मतलब कि यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं होगा, ठीक है? नथिंग विल हैपन. अगेन यू आर गोइंग टू go to the j equals to 1 after the j plus plus, right? So for this case 34 is j, यहाँ पे आएगा array of obviously 1 आएगा आपका 34, then array of j plus 1 में आपका आएगा j equals to 2, right? 23. So you are going to compare this. Now see, this is condition is true. 34 is greater than 23, मतलब 23 जो है वो छोटा है, so it should be first, ठीक है? अगर अनसेंडिंग ऑर्डर में सॉर्ट करना है, so that should be first, right? So that's why we are swapping the elements. Okay, so अगर आपका greater element आता है as the current element and next element is smaller, just swap it. These 3 lines for swapping the elements. Why we are using temp? Because if you are swapping it, the other value will be gone, right? If you are directly swapping, let's like this. So array of j में अगर आपने array of j plus 1 रख दिया, so how we are getting the array of j? That's why we are first storing the first current element, then storing the next element into the current array of j. Afterwards again placing the temp variable into the this 23. Okay, देखो ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है. टेम्प वाला अगर केस नहीं सुनना है, ऐसा कुछ है. अगर you have 34 and 23 and if you have to swap it, okay, और ये आपका है let's suppose j equal to 1 पे and j equal to 2 पे. Okay, so first we are storing into the temp, we are storing this 34, okay, and आपके इस array of 1 में, which means array of, ठीक है, जिसको confusion होगा इसमें, so array of 1 में आपका आ जाएगा this one, ठीक है, 23, array of 2. so यहाँ पे आप 23 आपने स्टोर किया, उसके बाद में एरे ऑफ 2 में जो सेकंड लाइन है, एरे ऑफ 2 इज इक्वल्स टू 10. अब यहाँ पे हम लोग एरे ऑफ 1 नहीं कर सकते ना, ठीक है? बिकॉज एरे ऑफ 1 का अपडेट हो गया वैल्यू, ठीक है? सो दैट्स व्हाई वी कैन नॉट स्टोर द एरे ऑफ 1 इन दिस वन. वी हैव टू यूज द टेम्प वेरिएबल, ठीक है? दैट्स व्हाई दैट टेम्प वेरिएबल इज देयर, स्वैपिंग विद द थर्ड वेरिएबल, ठीक है? सो दिस इज द अप्रोच. You obviously you can use an array list. Yeah, you can use an array list for that. Okay, so just understand this statement. Okay, one question I had is, okay, just be here. One question is how you can optimize this. If my array is already sorted, okay, if my array is already sorted, which means if my array is like this only, right? But you'll see this particular loop is going to run again and again. If my array is sorted, I don't want to run like n square times, okay? Which means obviously the time complexity. See, time complexity, how we calculate the time complexity? If you are running a loop, let's suppose the length of this n times, so this is n, and the nested for loop, which means a loop inside a loop, it will be n into n, that's n square. But if I have a loop like this and again another loop after this for loop, that is n plus n. So that's n is 2 times n, right? And we ignore the constant. That's how the time complexity works. I'll tell you when we are going to see a better approach, right? Tomorrow. Okay, when we're going to build a project, I'll show you how this time complexity works. Normally, you can say आपने अगर एन टाइम चलाया उसके अंदर में एक और एन टाइम चल रहा है, ठीक है, आप यहाँ पे अगर काउंटर लगा के देखोगे सो विल बी प्रिंटिंग इट एन स्क्वायर टाइम्स. अगर मैंने यहाँ पे आई इक्वल टू या सिंपल हेलो प्रिंट करा, ठीक है, इट विल बी प्रिंटिंग हेलो एन स्क्वायर टाइम्स, राइट? That's how you can obviously relate with the time complexity. So this is n square. But if my array is sorted, obviously आपको sort तो यहाँ पे sorted ही मिलेगा, nothing will change. This will be same. But my array already sorted. What change do I have to make in here to make this more optimized? I don't want to go for n square. If you guys remember, for the bubble sort, the time complexity is n square in the average case, in the worst case. But in the best case, it is n. But not with this code. Okay. This is the bubble sort, obviously, but we have to make few changes, not in the loop, not anywhere. We have to just write few lines, few more lines to make it run in the order of n for the sorted array. That is my question. That is the quiz. Okay. So if you understand the normal approach, okay, there you can devise that. Okay. So just if you know, you can tell me, or otherwise we can see that tomorrow, right? And yeah, one more thing is just make sure you are marking the attendance. Okay, from here I'll tell you how. And someone asking about the assignment, right? I'll tell you. Okay, just give me a second. Anyone have any doubt in this algorithm? Just let me know. Okay. Anyone have any doubt in this? Just let me know. Okay. And the quiz question also, you can just try to optimize it, right? Just try to see this and get the dry run. Okay, just try to have the dry run of the code. Either you can take a screenshot of this. Okay, and just try to dry run and see what changes you can do to make it run in the order of n. Okay, that's the question. Okay, we'll discuss it tomorrow. I'll tell you the answer tomorrow. So here you have to, let's suppose, whatever the rating you want to give and this program and whatever the suggestions you want to give, right, to improve. So just submit it, right? I've just given random. So make sure to mark the attendance. Okay, that's important. And this, you have to submit the assignment as well. So for the submitting assignments, you can submit in here as well, I guess, or you have to submit the GitHub link, because here it will be limited, right? It will be only 100 words. So either you can submit the someone saying drive link or the GitHub link. So yeah, it's possible to get order of n. Yeah, here, see, you can see the screen, right? You can see on the screen. Parag, you can see on the screen on the that everything, that same link you have. Okay, everything is there in the same link in the description box. So you can get the assignment link also. There also you have to mark the attendance at the same page, right? It is on the same page. Below the attendance mark, you have to submit assignment. Either you can submit a GitHub link, and if your code is less than 100, right, obviously it will be less than 100. So you can write that. Okay, I am not sure this is lines or words. So you have to either submit the GitHub link, or you can submit a replit link also. Make it public. Okay, before submitting it, make it public. If anyone knows about the replit, okay, make it public, or I can use a GitHub link. Just make a txt file or Java file and just paste the link in here. Okay, that's you can do, and click on submit in here. That will be submitted. So the important point is you have to be at least 50% to get that certificate criteria, right? And make sure to check out this one, right? This is a CSC program. Let's Upgrade has launched. Okay, that's one of the coolest thing. Okay, you'll be just try to see, okay, what is there, and make sure, like, if you're sharing with your friends, you'll be getting benefits, right? You'll be getting some prizes, MacBooks and all. Okay, if your friend enrolls into this program. And then there is a Java DSA program. See, we cannot learn all the things in 3 days or 5 days, right? This is just a boot camp, okay, just an overview. So if you want to learn this DSA, you can just check this DSA program. Okay, you can even share with your friends as well. And this is just for 599. I guess the description is there in the link, right? Okay, that you can check, and make sure to mark the attendance. Okay. Also, before going, if you like this particular, right, whatever the logic you have studied today, if you have any doubts, you can ask. I'll be here for 2 minutes. And just make sure, if you like this session, right, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share with your friends. Okay, so that they get to know about this as well. Okay, share with your friends. Okay, and that there is a Postman collection and that API and all those things. Okay, there was a boot camp which is quite useful for you, right? There'll be quite knowledgeable, and there'll be some fun session as well afterwards. Okay, there'll be game or something. So just make sure to check this out and share with your friends. Try to enroll in that. Okay, and here you have the referral option as well. Okay, if you have any doubts regarding this, you can just join for this, for the notification or anything. Okay, and please make sure to mark the attendance. Okay, any doubts? Let's take the doubts if you have any doubts. Assignment ये है ना, view submit assignment below the mark attendance. See, जहाँ पे you have to mark the attendance, below that we have this, right? You can mark it there. Exactly. Okay, मिल गया ना यहाँ पे? A private, see, just make it public. Don't have the private repository. Otherwise, the admin or whomsoever are going to check the assignment, they're not able to see, right? If your repository is private. Okay, so see, just before going, like if you like this session, right, just make sure to subscribe channel and share with your friends as well, right? Like the video and just give you whatever the session you have, right? You can just give into the mark. So when you are marking the attendance, there you can give. Below that there is a button for view and submit assignment. Just click that one, you'll be getting this. Okay, every link is there in the description box, everything. Okay, so just make sure to check this out. And there is a postman eBay collection, and that there is a different boot camp. Okay, will be happening, I guess, in the week or so. So just there is a link is there in the description. Just check that out. Okay, any doubt? Any doubt? Submit through the link. Okay, that I can tell you. Okay, so for the link, you have to simply go on the GitHub, right? Upload the code. Okay, see, this is not linked with the GitHub. You can have the source control. See what you can do. You can just check this out on a web as well, or have to, okay, you have to make a repository, right? There'll be a lot of step. Okay, see, you have to make a new repository and make a repository. Okay, let's suppose whatever. Have to delete it. Just make sure this is public. Don't make it private. If it's private, no one able to access it. Okay, you have to just create the repository. Okay, and just submit in here only. Okay, just submit in here. Either you can set up in GitHub, or if you have a Git bash, you can use these commands. There are few commands. Just follow this and make your code in the VS. Just make a file. Just submit, write the code in here. Okay, and push this code with this command. Okay, or you can simply upload with the directly, right? There is an option to directly upload it. Okay, when you are setting, just making a remote branch to your VS code, then it will automatically set up a folder in here. You can directly upload. Either you can follow this GitHub commands. Okay, this is easy. Make sure to make it public, otherwise no one able to access it. And you'll get a link, right? You'll get a link. That link you have to share. Okay, that link you have to share. Okay, is this clear? Anyone have any doubt? Attendance is 40. Just make sure it should be 40. Not easy. Yeah, exactly. Okay, any doubt? Any doubt? Okay, and just make sure to solve that quiz, right? Make sure to solve that quiz. Okay, any doubts anyone have? I hope you enjoyed the session, right? I hope you enjoyed the session. Then if you don't have any doubt, let's then just very good evening. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, I have doubt. Is it go to MC from safe complete? Companies accept. Yeah, see, some companies accept the open MCA the scores, but I'm not sure. But yeah, you can go for it. But before that, you have to check for the particular industries and all those things, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. See. So see you guys tomorrow, right? If you have any doubt, we'll discuss it tomorrow, right? I hope you enjoyed the session. So see you guys. Have a great evening, right? Make sure to submit the assignment. Right? Bye bye.